welcome to Transformation Time. My name is Caro, a transformational speaker, writer, blogger, serial entrepreneur, and movable optimist, and I'm here to help you become the best version of yourself in your personal life as well as your business. Today we are talking work culture in Zambia. Yes, work culture in Zambia. I'll be right back with this topic. Hello and welcome back to Transformation Time with Caro. We are talking work culture in Zambia. This is really about my country because I don't want to talk so much about the places that I've been to, but I want to talk about what we can do to change in our nation. Because before we start looking on the outside, let's start with us. Why do we have a bad working culture in Zambia? Why? I just don't understand it. It's small little things like your timing, your payments, your environments, the way people just conduct themselves, even with customer care, with the service levels that they provide. I feel that if we do not value the people on the other end, when we say customer is king, customer can be anybody that you're providing a service to, whether it's internally in your organization or externally. I find that we're so complacent in my country. We need to get to a point where we need to start valuing people. We need to start valuing the time that they put in. We need to start valuing the environments. We need to start valuing the fact that people have actually, they have invested in themselves to get to a certain level. And I really think that SMEs are sort of moving into that corporate, culture, which is more of laissez-faire. Because you find that when companies grow so big, they tend to take things for granted. And I believe that if we do not change that mindset, even the ones that are coming up will tend to think that that is normal. Why are we not giving value to people for the things that they do? Why are we not paying people for, the service level that they provide, the expertise, the skills that they bring to the table? Why are we taking long with certain payments when you know that you can pay people in a day? You decide to pay them in a week or 2 weeks. What is it about systems that cannot be integrated to such a stage where people understand that, this is for a living? That for somebody to choose to do business with you, they really respect you. And I think the fundamental aspect of respect has not been valued. So many times we think, people just wake up in the middle of the night and they just dream to choose our services. It doesn't matter what industry you're in. If somebody chooses you, you need to value them. If somebody chooses to apply to your organization, it means they see something in your organization. Maybe there's room for growth. Maybe there's a place where they feel that, they will receive a certain monetary value. Maybe they feel that by having that it will add to their portfolio. So as they add your name, as they give out that, that expertise or that skill, why are you not returning it back? Why is it that when we're doing business, we tend to take people for granted? We come to a place where we advertise or we market or we share certain things that we want to provide, but when the time comes, we are full of excuses. And this is not to say that I have led a perfect life when it comes to business or been on the receiving end. You see, all these things have come about from either being in that arena or being the person on the other end of receiving the service or providing. What is key is that when you get that customer feedback, what are you doing about it? What are you doing about that feedback that you get? Are you just brushing it off because somebody just said it, ni Muzambia femuno or whatever? Why are we not valuing that thing that that people bring to the table? Why are we not saying, how can I improve with the things that people have commented about without being emotional? Because you see, there's a place where malice is brought out and there's a place where there's constructive criticism. If you know and you can see that this is constructive criticism, why don't you ask further? Why don't you go and expand your skills? Why don't you take your people for training? Because one thing that also happens is when we do not respect certain values, we find that there's inconsistency in our land. We find that businesses that started 2 years ago, you can't find them 2 years later. Why? In 2 years is when you should be grounding yourself. You should be establishing yourself. People should know that this is, these are the roots being drawn. This is where you make no apologies for being the best at what you are. Why is it that we're so laissez-faire when it comes to, even social events? where you're providing the service. Maybe you are doing an event management company or, an event planning service. Why is it that, we do not start things on time? We're not there when the customer needs us. And so we find that all these other things that fall out, we start to then see people, having bad habits like Zambian time. Where did that come from? When did it become socially acceptable to have Zambian time? At what cost? At what cost? Where is our, our sense of respect? Where is that place where we say, this person has put in a certain amount of effort, therefore I need to do my part? Because whatever we accept in society is exactly what's going to be passed on to the next generation. Is this the kind of Zambia that we want? Is this the kind of, work culture that we want to be inputting in our next generation? Because it starts with that. And so many times, yes, somebody will be saying, no, me, I'm like this, I'm like that. That's fine. That's okay. But are you coming from a place of rubbing your ego? Are you coming from a place of being prideful? Or are you saying, because I have this characteristic, this great characteristic about me, and this great skill or these great mannerisms, how can I then, take it out to another person? How can I share this level of knowledge? How can I share this wisdom, this insight that I have? Because you see, if you are not leading from the front, it's very difficult for another person to listen to you. And most times what we do is much easier followed than what we say. So if you say that, I have a great working culture and all that, but at the end of the day, what do you also accept from other people? What are the timelines that you put? What are the boundaries that you put? Because working culture starts with the transformation of the mind. It's about saying, I want to be at this certain level, and this is what I want to change. This is how I can go about it. So many times, I've heard people give this excuse that, it's a Zambian thing. This is how things have always been. Is this how you want things to always be? Why not change? How does this affect the productivity? How does this affect, the level of service excellence? These are all things that we need to think about. It's like little seeds that are being planted now. So if we do not engage in changing the working culture, where people want to, come out like they want just things for free. No, we need to get to a point where if you applied for a job, if you applied for a job for say, you need to be at that place where if you have accepted the contract, the JD, the job description, stick to it. The only time you should ever have an argument is if something has clashed with your job description, if systems are not in place and they're affecting you. Okay, if certain decisions are not being favorable. But as you accept that role, as you accept that responsibility, you need to know that you need to be accountable to that. If you say you're a business and a service provider and you lay down the rules of your T's and C's, your terms and conditions, okay, whether it's to your suppliers, whether it's a B2B business, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, what you have set out to do, you need to make sure that you then you come forth with the promise. We're not talking about, over promising here, but just barely the outlines. You've been at a point where you can say, what? I'm ready to do this. This is me. It's not about another person. What is within my capacity that I can be a great customer care agent, that I can be of great service, that I can provide a certain level of standard, that I can lead from the front without necessarily accepting an award. Because what moves a lot of businesses forward in other regions is their level of referrals. The number of people that are referring people to that business, to that person, that's what keeps people going. Because you see, you can enter a certain building, you can enter a certain place, and you can even enter a certain job. But your character, your work ethic, your working culture is what will sustain you. So are you in that place where you are actually making a change, or is it merely just about you being at a point where you want to satisfy your ego? Because whatever it is that you do, we always have to remember that it's going to impact another person. No man is an island. How you stand up and reflect another organization in your individual capacity is how people will view it. You walk the talk. You are the brand of whatever it is that you service. So I hope that this has helped somebody out there. I hope that this, will be something that you can reflect on. I hope that you actually take the action. Remember, in season 3, we are talking about action. I hope you will take the steps to get to the next level. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to follow me on social media. It's at Caro Mushota TT on Instagram, Twitter, Periscope, YouTube, and Facebook. So thank you so much for watching and have a great one. Bye bye.